Hello everyone, Rich Pierce here, and I have been asked to put together a little tutorial on using Zoom to call into the dividing line. And of course, this is going to be one of those scenarios where this is not 24/7 all the time. It's when we're doing the dividing line live, and this is how you get to us through Zoom. And a couple of things to keep in mind. Number one, you don't need your video on, so make sure that your camera is off, but we will need your microphone tested, available. I will probably mute your microphone when you get into the room itself. You'll be able to hear James, but after that, when you're next up, keep an eye on the chat because I'll be telling you you're coming up and what order your call is. But I'll also look for a dialog box that says you've been requested to unmute your microphone. If I request for you to unmute your microphone, that means you're next up, and I need you to do that pretty quickly. So it's that kind of scenario. So with that said, let's get to it. So I've created a little dialog box here over here where I've got all these screens, so it's like all these different places in which I have to look for things. This particular screen is actually a virtual screen. It's not one of my physical screens that I can look at. It gets a little confusing when I'm doing that, by the way. So if I'm looking places and not finding things, or I look really puzzled, that's why. Anyway, so this is I set up a brief dialogue. So you need to log into your Zoom account. First thing first, okay? And then with that, and let's go ahead and enlarge this, you're going to click Join. Now, when we do this, I don't know why Zoom wants to run to my home screen, so I have to drag these things over here. So we're going to get rid of this guy, and now this is the dialogue that we're actually looking at. And so first thing you're going to do is you're going to put in, I will give you the meeting address, and in this situation, this meeting is 819-3028-3082. And now down here, obviously, my name is Richard Pierce, and that's what comes up default in my account. Well, I'm going to change this. Take out my last name. In fact, I'm going to take out most of my first name too. I'm going to put Rich, space, dash, and then I want to put the topic that I want to ask James about. This does two things. Number one, that tells us, is this really a hot topic, something James wants to, it will blend for the show, and so he wants to bring you maybe up a little sooner or maybe a little later. Anyway, we need to know what you want to talk about. So in this scenario, I'm going to put in here Sola Scriptura because that was the topic yesterday. And the other reason we're doing this is when we put this information up on Twitter, social media, etc., everybody gets to see it. So we have these mischief makers, and they see these things, and they decide they're going to invade the channel, and they're going to see if they can't crash the meeting, drop a few four-letter words along the way. They think it's funny, and once they get kicked out of the room, they tell all their friends, oh, guess what I did, ha, 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 ha. And it's not funny for us at all. And so, especially on a live show, that's not something we want to be doing. We don't want them doing it. So this is a method by which we can have them not do that. So in this scenario, we're going to click Join to join that particular meeting. And then I'm going to put the next dialogue that will come up here. I'm going to show you. Let me come over here, and I'll grab this and pull this over here where you can see it. You're going to enter the meeting passcode. So you'll be giving the room number, and you'll be given the passcode to get into the room. And that passcode in this situation, I'm punching in right now and hoping I'm doing it right. And we're going to join the meeting. And it's connecting. And wow, it even actually popped up on the correct screen. I'm shocked. I really am shocked. So we're going to maximize that. So the next thing that you're going to see there is the meeting host will let you in soon. You're going to hear nothing. This is all you're going to see. And you're going to sit here and stare at me and maybe say a few things to me on Twitter or something like that. Hey, let me in. Let me in. And that actually might help me know you're for real too. But in the meantime, let's do this. pop that back down. Okay, I'm back. Hello. All right. In the meantime, over here, I see Rich Sola Scriptura in the waiting room. All right. And so we're going to pop this back up here. And then I'm going to come over here to Rich in the waiting room. And I'm going to say, admit Rich into the into the show. And now for you, you're going to want to, hello, get all the way over there. You're going to want to join with computer audio. And there you're doing that. And so that's showing. Oh, and you want to stop your video. And that way, all I see is a big screen with your name on it. You've been let into the room, and you can hear James on this screen. You'll be able to hear James. Okay, so there is that. Now here's the other thing, though. You're going to need. I will probably watch this. I'm going to mute Rich's microphone. Oh, look at that. Now Rich can't talk. So his microphone has been muted, the whole 9 yards. Now, I'm going to keep Rich there. He's in the he's not in the waiting room anymore. He's actually in the room itself, but he's muted. And things need to stay that way while we talk to other callers. And then, let me do something here. I want to make sure. Yeah, there we go. So Rich can't, check this out. Rich can't come down here and go, I want to unmute. Sorry, you can't do it until I say you can. So you can try that all day long. That's what you're going to get. But then, when you're next up, and we don't need to hear about your whiteboard. We know Zoom's got a whiteboard feature, and we are looking at that. That's going to be cool, I think. Anyway, in the meantime, guess what, Rich? You're next up. And this is what you're going to see when you're next up. And that is, you're going to see the host would like you to unmute. Okay? So I can't actually unmute you, but I can ask you to unmute. And here's the thing. You need to be real heads up on this, because this is your signal. You're next up. You're next up in line, Rich. And so you need to click that button, and boom, my microphone works again. And it's alive. And now as soon as I open that channel up on the board, you're going to be talking to James directly. And so people just coming, they wander in here. It's like I can be recording the whole 9 yards. They just come in. Anyway, so that's how you do it. And then when we're all done, you have your 10, 15, 20-minute, half an hour long call with James. Then I'm going to end your call. And that's going to be, and your call. No, I don't want to do that. Sometimes my settings are weird. Anyway, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say thanks a lot, and I'm going to try to remove you from the room without reporting you to Zoom, because that's an automatic thing, and your meeting's over. And that's it. That's how it all works. It's that simple. And I hope that I've answered all your questions. I hope we have a better process for you to be able to call in using Zoom. And that's the name of that tune. Y'all have a blessed week.